Hi, I'm Ems, aka on Dark and Wings. In this video I'll be transforming a Canopec reanimator into a Bonecron. Please like, comment and subscribe, it's hugely appreciated and helps my small channel grow. A Bonecron is a Necron in the style of a classic fantasy skeleton, including the bleached bone and the verdigris. I didn't invent this style, however I wanted to try and make my own interpretation of it. I had this idea of a Necron tomb being underneath an ancient forest planet, and over time the natural foliage had seeped into the tomb, causing verdigris and greenery to grow on the Necrons themselves. I'm not too sure how lore accurate this would be, but I'm not too bothered to be honest, because it's a made up fantasy universe and these are my wild alleys and Games Workshop retcon things all the time. So here is the reanimator all built. Of course I had to show on this movie in somewhere. Anyway, for the first part of the model I added some sandy texture paste. It just adds this layer of rust and verdigris to the model before you paint it up. So the paste is dried and then I added a black priming layer and now I created a bone type of colour. I mixed ivory and golden brown by Pro Acryl together. If you're following along and you're inspired by the video, just a screaming skull or Morghast bone or any sort of bone colour will be great for this. I will be dry brushing this on and the colour will be going over the main carapace and taking over the majority of the model. I dare you to count how many times I use the word bone in this video. So here is the bone part of the Cron done. Thinking about it, this guy looks like something from War of the Worlds. So next up I've got Darkstar Molten Metals Copper. This is one of my absolute favourite paints. I absolutely love Darkstar Molten Metals, especially the copper. But I do have a review video of the entire range out on my YouTube. I'll put the link in the description below. So I'm going over the skeletal looking parts with the copper and then a few parts on the legs and such forth to make the copper pop and contrast against that bone colour. Here is the copper all painted up. I'm really pleased with this colour scheme so far, it really stands out. Now I am washing sepia tone all over this. Once the sepia tone had dried, I grabbed some wildwood contrast paint and I thinned it down to a more of a wash consistency. Contrast paints are almost like inks and they're very saturated so can pop really well. I'd be more refined with where I put this, so just into the deepest recesses. Once the washes had dried, I went over the original bone areas and I dry brushed on some of that colour I've used previously just to create some highlights and contrast. I was more refined in where I put these in particular with it. The next step was addressing the glowing orb eye sort of areas and anything else like that. I put down a layer of white paint first on these, and then I thinned down some turquoise and put it over the top so it has this more of a glowing effect. You can do this for any glowing effect that you want, so I put down a layer of white paint first, thin down your main colour and put it over the top and it looks pretty cool. So here's how it looks after I finished it off. I painted the base off camera and it doesn't need much explanation as it's not the main part of the video. However, I did use some brown paint, some grey for the rock parts, some silvers. I used yellow on the power fist and then I washed it with some oxide rust to make it look a bit more worn and verdigris. Lastly, I wanted to add some tufts to this model. As I said at the beginning of the video, I wanted this model to look like it had been encased in a forest world and the nature had taken over. I didn't want to go too intense with the placement of these tufts. I wanted to keep it quite minimalistic though, so I didn't lose out on the details I'd already painted previously. I very much enjoyed painting and making this, and I might make some more Necrons in this style in the future. It's obviously a Necron, but I don't think it would look out of place in another science fiction universe or gaming setting. If you did enjoy this video and my channel in general, please consider donating to my Ko-fi. I'll put the link in the description below. Otherwise, please share this video if you can. And here are the final results. I was really surprised with this one. I had so much fun with it and it was a joy to make and it looks really cool. As always, thank you for watching. Remember to enjoy your hobbies for yourself. Respect that people enjoy them in their own ways. And at the end of the day, they're just war I'll see you in the next one.